Today's recipe calls for some zucchini. I'm going to show you how to make a pasta dish that takes very few ingredients and it's not complicated in the least bit, and the end result is out of this world. It might just become your new favorite pasta dish. So with that said, let's get started.
The first thing we need to do to make this pasta that has a few ingredients with max flavor is prep all of our vegetables. We'll start with 2 medium-sized zucchini, cut the top and bottom off. Following that, cut the zuc into 2 equal sections. After that has happened, cut that half section in half once again. Now after all that, cut the green stick into half-moon slices that are roughly a 1/4 inch thick. You want pieces that are thicker in size. This will help ensure they hold up and do not disintegrate during the cooking process. They hold a lot of water, so if cooked too long, they'll start to fall apart. The thicker size will also give us a veg texture that is tender and al dente. It'll give the final dish a better result. Oh, also, use the tip of your chef's knife to cut the veggie. This will prevent the zucchini from sticking to it, making it quicker to slice. To help speed up the process, place 2 pieces of zuc next to one another. Slice both at the same time. Dang, that's speedy work, huh? Anywho, keep slicing the goods until complete. Toss the cut veg into a holding device until we need it later. The next item we need to work on is 1 medium-sized yellow onion. First, cut the top off, which is the opposite end of the hairy side. After the top is off, cut the onion into 2 equal sections. We'll only be using half, so save the other half for another recipe. Peel all the paper skin off, the thing that makes people cry. Now that it is paperless, we need to slice that bad boy as well. Thinly slice the onion from front to back, cutting as close to the root as possible when you reach that point. Once cut, set it aside for now. Now onto one of the best ingredients in my humble opinion, which is 6 to 7 medium to large garlic cloves. Start by cutting off both ends of each piece. After that, lightly smash each clove with your kitchen tool. Following the smash, peel all the stupid paper skin off each clove. Thinly slice the Naked Vampire Repellent into chips of garlic. Now set it aside for later. Let's move on to the last veggie item of the recipe, which is 11.5 ounces or 327 grams of cherry tomatoes. Using a serrated knife, cut the little tiny toms into quarters or into half pieces. It's really up to you on how you want things to look and how you want to eat it. If you do not have a serrated knife, a really sharp chef's knife will also work. A saw blade knife will make it much easier to cut through the delicate item. Once cut, set them aside. The next item is optional. I just had some on hand and didn't want it to go to waste. Anyways, snag 5 to 6 large basil leaves. Make them into a stack of green leafy stuff. Next, roll them into a cylinder shape. Now with a sharp knife, chiffonade the basil into green confetti. It's best to use a sharp blade for this task. A dull blade will bruise the bright green herb. We want to keep that color. Alright, grab the protein. Use whatever type of sausage link you prefer for this recipe. I went with sweet turkey sausage. You'll want 12.5 ounces or 439 grams of meats. Snag 10 ounces or 287 grams of rigatoni pasta or your pasta of choice. Grab a skillet and all the ingredients. Take them over to a heat source. Next, we need to grab a pot of water for our pasta. Fill it up with as much H2O as needed. Season the water with a few fat pinches of coarse ground kosher salt. When you have that done, you need to also take it over to the heating element. Crank the heat for the pot of water to a medium level of hotness. Place a lid atop of the pot so it traps in the heat and steam. Now as for this skillet, turn the heat up to a medium-high level. Allow the pan to become ripping hot. To tell if your pan is hot enough, add a tiny amount of water to the skillet. If they immediately turn into spheres and dance around the pan, you know it's ready to go. When it's all hot and bothered, add about 2 teaspoons of a high heat oil or enough to coat the bottom of the pan. Next, add the sausage links to the ripping hot skillet. Cook this first side for about 5 minutes or until you achieve a nice golden brown sear on the links. If things are cooking too fast and things are starting to burn, turn the heat down to a medium-low. When you've accomplished that sweet sear, give things a flippy-floppy. cook and sear each side of the meat stick for 5 minutes. In total, you should pan fry the sausage for roughly 20 minutes or until the internal temp of the link reaches 165 Fahrenheit or 73 degrees Celsius on an instant read thermometer. It's best to base the cook time off of when the sausage reaches the temp I just mentioned. Put a lid on top of the skillet towards the end of the searing/cooking the sides of the sausage. Throwing a lid on top of the pan will trap the heat, ensuring the center of the sausage fully cooks. Keep adjusting the heat level as needed so things don't burn on you. Don't worry about the stuff building up on the bottom of the skillet. All of that is fond, which is flavor. Also, if clear liquid starts to seep out of the sausage, that's a good indication that they are done. Once things have been fully cooked, clear the meats out of the pan. Now that the skillet is empty, dump in the sliced onion. Turn the heat level to a low-medium. Sauté the veg for 5 to 6 minutes or until they become a light golden brown color. Oh yeah, also season it with a good-sized pinch of coarse ground kosher salt. When the onions have fully cooked, deglaze the pan with a 1/4 cup or 59 ml of white cooking wine. If you can't use wine, chicken stock or even water will work. After you make it rain, watch out for the steam cloud it'll create. Once the cloud is gone, use a wooden spoon to scrape the fond off the bottom of the skillet. We want to get all those tasty bits up. Alright, once all of that is done with, drop in the zouk. Following that, give it a good sized pinch of salt. Sauté this business for 3 to 4 minutes or until lightly golden brown. Try not to cook it too much longer than that. We do not want it to fully break down. After those have been cooked, add the cherry tomatoes in. Cook these for 2 to 3 minutes. At this point, turn your heat down to a low temp. We want to hold on to as much of that tomato juice as possible. It'll be part of our little pasta pan sauce. Hook it up with a pinch or 2 of salt. Give things a mix about to spread the salt throughout and to mix all the goods together. Pop the lid back on. While the skillet is chillin', slice the sausage links into little meat coins. Cut them on the bias to make it look extra fancy. Try to keep as much of the liquid that they leak out. We'll save it to add it to the pan of goodness. Alright, now that it's cut, take it and the garlic over to the skillet. Toss the sausage in and give it a mix about. Then part the food C and add the sliced stinky breath mint in. Sauté it for 30 to 40 seconds or until the air starts to smell really good. Now mix all the stuff together. At this point, your pasta water should be at a rolling boil. If it is, add the nudes to the pot. Immediately give them a stir to prevent things from sticking together or to the bottom of the pot. Cook the pasta as needed according to the box directions. Throughout the cooking process, occasionally give things a stir. Also, to time things out right, drop the nudes into the water right after you cut the sausage. This way the stuff in the skillet will be done cooking close to the time the noodles will also be done. I'm not able to film all of the things at once, so just do your best to time it out right. When the timer rings, strain and drain the noodles. Before you do that though, save 1 cup or 240 ml of pasta water. Now that everything is done, add the gluten to the skillet of veg. Fully combine all the things into one. Add small bits of water to help make your pan sauce. Things should be nice and thick to coat the pasta. Keep adding water as needed until you're happy with what the pasta looks like. The water will combine with the tomato juice to make something good. Give it a taste test and adjust the seasoning as needed with coarse ground kosher salt. To finish things off, add 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Mix it until it's fully melted in. Add more water if needed to make it saucier. My toms cooked a little too far, so my sauce wasn't exactly what I wanted, so it's best to cook the toms over a low temp. Anyways, when things look and taste like you want them to, pull the pan off the heat source and fold in the basil we cut earlier. Garnish it with some grated Parmesan cheese, add fresh torn basil. Eat this with a nice fresh summer salad or turn this into some meal prep meals. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy.
Now that our pasta is done, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. So looking at it, came out looking really packed and stacked with a ton of delicious goodness in there, from the sausage, the zucchini, the garlic, the cherry tomatoes, all that good deliciousness. Then we get that pop of color from our basil on top that makes it look extra bougie. Then of course the cheese makes it look very delicious, just like you want to dig into it. Overall, it just looks really good, so let's give it a shot. Try to get a bite with everything in there. This thing came out amazing. As you already know, onion and garlic play so well together, and it builds a good strong base of flavor for our pasta. We get a bit of sweetness from our caramelized onions and the sweetness from our sausage that we used. We get some richness and fat from our butter, our meat, and our pasta, and of course the cheese as well. But the acid in the tomatoes help cut through all of that and make it more well-rounded. That hard sear and caramelization that we got on our sausage brings a ton of flavor to the table. The cheese adds that cheesiness and a bit of nuttiness. The zucchini makes it feel like it's healthy. Then we get that pop of freshness from our basil. Texture-wise, the zucchini is cooked perfectly, has a nice little crunch to it. The pasta itself is nice and al dente. The meat just kind of melts in your mouth. Overall, it's just really dang good. This recipe is super crazy simple to knock out, and it's awesome how easy it is, and the end result we get is so dang good. You can make this any which way you want. Maybe ditch the onion and add a yellow summer squash instead, or maybe add some toasted red pepper flakes to make it spicy, which sounds so good. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. I have a bunch of stuff to do, and I really don't want to do any of it, so I'm just gonna go pretend to do it all. So we'll see you on the next one. This looks really and super stacked with a bunch super all the times with the super. Good. There's a bunch of delicious goodness. Looks like it's stacked. This dish, this